Hello, I'm Lowell Martin and this is MCC Today. And we have the wonderful Kevin Johnson with us today, and you are our recruiting coordinator.
Recruiting coordinator, yes.
Oh my goodness, and we were just talking earlier, and you've been here just over a year.
Yes, yes.
How's everything going so far?
It's going great. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, obviously getting past this, or trying to get past this, little COVID deal that we're dealing with. But
oh my gosh.
It's great to be back out into the schools and getting to interact with the kids, and that's what I'm passionate about. Getting kids in a position to be successful.
And that's what we're all really trying to do. And COVID has did put a damper on things. We were still moving and trying to get information out there, but now we're able to do it a little bit back like we used to.
Right.
But there's some changes that y'all are making.
Right.
And I think these are very, very positive changes, and that's why I wanted you on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a new experience. We're not doing our traditional orientations anymore. Because used to we would have students, usually in June, on Fridays in June, they would come in, groups of students, and they would take tours of the campus. Then they would do their schedules, and they could not do their schedules until they'd had the tours, and we'd talk to them and giving them all this information that a lot of them didn't remember.
Right.
So we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
So what are we doing now?
Basically, we're getting rid of the orientation tag, and we're moving forward to what we're calling liftoff.
I like the name.
Yeah,
okay.
I love the name. And like you said, with liftoff, well, I say go back with orientation. We would basically go into where they would do all those things, and it would be a big gap in between them getting into school at that time. So now we're moving it forward and also doing things where it's closer to the time for them to basically be getting ready to go right into class. So they're able to get on campus, explore, and interact and do things closer to that time rather than having that big space and big gap in between. But like I said, liftoff, moving from that orientation tag and moving to liftoff, which I definitely enjoy.
Well, as you said, because we were doing it, I think we had 3 or 4 orientations in June, and then we had 1 in July, typically. And so if you were one of the first orientations, you had to wait until August 13th or 15th or whatever to go to class.
That's right.
So you're right, there was a huge gap there. So what you're saying is we're moving everything closer to the actual start of the fall semester, so that students don't have a huge opportunity to forget what we're doing or what they're doing.
And where they may be going, and different classes, things of that nature. And we're also going to the point where you go into, we're going to go in depth with the kids and also have that interaction with them, like I said, moving forward as we proceed with our new, liftoff program.
So what exactly will they be doing during liftoff?
Basically,
I'm a sci-fi person. I can't wait to go into space and all that, so I love saying liftoff.
Right. Well, basically what they'll be doing is doing a lot of registration, getting things, obviously up until that point, we would definitely want them to have, ACT scores, transcripts and things of that nature into us, so we're able to admit them into MCC, so that's the biggest thing, moving forward that we would like, for them to address and make sure they're done. But the biggest thing is for them to be proactive. That's the biggest key, because in the past, orientation had been centered and set for, I wouldn't say certain students, but certain students to be able to register early or be first. Now, it's fair game, so anybody that wants to come here and that want to be on our campus, we want them to get their stuff done, get in, and we get them admitted, and they become
so let me, and I'm gonna stress this. So if you are a student and you want to have all of your classes on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or you don't want to begin before 9:30, or you want to be finished by 12:30, or you want these certain teachers for certain classes, you need to go ahead and get registered as soon as possible, as early as possible, to make sure that all of that can happen.
That's right.
Because the longer you wait, the less likely it is that you can get some of that, right? Am I correct in
That's
that?
Right. That's right.
Okay, so you want to be as proactive as possible. So do you make an appointment for liftoff? Do you have to register in any way?
At this point, I think that we'll have kids that will have, obviously have the chance to make appointment with advisors and different things like that. We won't be doing any advising and recruiting. We will be helping assist them in getting those kids to them, and and basically pushing them and helping the course be ran as smooth as possible for those advisors to get them admitted into, our institution.
And you and I were talking earlier about the importance of doing it early and kind of making sure that because some people do need to be pushed.
Right.
So do you think, because I needed to be pushed when I was that age.
Yeah, and I was same exact way.
So, because a lot of times if we don't have that person pushing us, we're going to wait till the last possible minute to do it.
We procrastinate, and being a teenage kid, you have a lot of other stuff going on,
Sure.
and you definitely, to have that person in your corner that's going to help you, and we're there to help you, to be that little extra push that you need. Because if you show us that you're interested in what we're doing, even if not, we still want to try to guide you along. And it may be somewhere else that we help you get the best opportunity for yourself to be successful.
So will all of the liftoffs, you said they're going to be right before we begin in the fall. Do we know a timeline or dates for the liftoffs?
Right now, I think they're still in place
Okay.
on trying to get those dates out. But as soon as we get them out, and and me and you will meet again possibly,
Sure.
and we'll get on here and talk about some of those dates and go over them, so those
But
kids.
we're probably talking about mid to late July or
going right into the fall, right
Okay.
around that time, pushing into the fall, so that so like I said, once they get those, being able to explore our campus and do different things, they're able to run right into their classes, and and it's not like that big old gap that they used to have.
And I think that's very important, because I do this now. The longer I have to do something consistently to remember it. And so if there's a huge gap in it, and I know I'm no longer a teenager, but I still have to do things. Are you excited about this new liftoff program?
Yeah, I definitely am, because like you said, it's one of the things where I think it's basically getting more kids to our campus, and showing them what we have to offer, in all aspects.
I am so excited about this.
I am also
very excited about this. I cannot wait. Now I want to have you back on the show to talk about this again, and we'll get the dates firm, a firm idea of the dates and what exactly they need to do.
Okay.
But I do want you back possibly early summer. What you think?
Definitely. And I just want to say, we have obviously our Eagle experiences and things like that, and that's another form of us communicating and interacting with students that we have coming up, here soon. We have one actually April the 9th, which is on Friday, where we have a group of students coming on our campus, and we're going to have a great Eagle experience with them. And the Eagle experience for us is it's like a college day / I say hype night, different
Sure.
things of that nature, to where they're on our campus and they're able to see, do, and experience a great experience with MCC.
I can't wait. This is all wonderful. I'm so excited about all the stuff that y'all are doing. I'm going to have you back on to talk about this some more. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, thank you, Lowell.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first, while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we have Joshua Maeda. I almost said Dr. Joshua Maeda, but it's not
Go
Doctor.
ahead.
Let me go ahead. When students say Dr. Martin, I do not correct them sometimes.
Esquire.
But you are a teacher. You teach here. You teach literature and philosophy.
And world religions.
And world religions, okay. And you've been here at MCC how long?
10 years now.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
The time is flying.
Time for a raise.
Yes. Now, I wanted to have you on the show basically because you were awarded the Humanities Professor of the Year.
Yes.
Okay, and congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. That
Thank
is
you.
wonderful. I went to your speech and heard the lecture. You did a phenomenal job, but I wanted to have you on to
Yes.
talk about it. And so basically, what did you talk about for your Humanities Professor of the Year speech? Because everyone when you become Humanities Professor of the Year, you have to give a lecture type thing, and you did a great job with it.
Thank you.
But what did you talk about? Because I thought it was very interesting.
The TLDR version is we need to stay off of these,
Okay.
but for this show, I'll expand. We all know that, and we're all guilty of spending obscene amounts of time on our phones because
Sure.
they're made to be addictive. They're made to know exactly how to tantalize us. My presentation was that we need to be very judicious in our use of such technology because my argument is that it does not lead to living our best lives. And I hate to use that cliche phrase, but that's what I argued. And I based that on a couple readings that I have primarily my philosophy students read. The first one is by American philosopher, now deceased, Robert Nozick, and it's known primarily as the experience machine, and it was released back in the 70s, but I think it's only become more timely today. And he posed this thought experiment that if we had the ability basically to have our brains hooked up to the various probes and so forth that could stimulate our brains in the right way, and basically give us 2 years of this array of experiences that we pre-selected, the entire time we think we're actually out doing these things that we are only imagining that we are doing. His question is, how many people would actually agree to do this? And let's just, for the sake of the example, let's remove all those fears. Oh, what if the technology breaks down? Or what if my family misses me? Or who's going to feed my cat? We'll just remove all those concerns. If you could have your brain hooked up to this machine that for 2 years would deliver just this pre-selected array of fantasies, would you? And I think with smartphones and just social media, that's a much more likely scenario than it would have been back in the 70s, of course.
Right.
And I think many people might not be able to immediately say, no, I wouldn't do that. And he gives 3 reasons why he thinks people wouldn't do it. The first one is we like to do certain things. The second one is we like to be certain people. And the third is that this would limit us to a man-made reality. I don't know if those reasons would still be convincing today, because I think people are quite satisfied with limiting themselves to man-made constructions. So what I want to do was then present why we should not, if ever given the option, and honestly I think the time will come where such options will be feasible and given to us. If and when the time comes, are there reasons not to plug in?
Well, you made a very good argument during your lecture. When you were talking about this, how was it received, if you don't mind me asking, afterwards? Did you have many people come up and go, I really agree with you, I agree with what you said?
I had a few people that told me that was very thought-provoking, which I don't know if that's a nice way of saying that was interesting. It's like telling someone, oh, you're really nice. But
what I love, though, is you have, I'm just going to say, he has the best sense of humor, the driest wit of anyone I think I know, and I appreciate that so much. And so often during the lecture, I noticed that you were saying things that I thought was hysterical. That I don't know how many people got it. I hope they got it. But I think it's the same that we have with our lectures with students. You
Right.
say something, and you hope they get it.
And if they don't, at least if you make yourself laugh, at least on the inside.
That's what I do. I amuse
the
myself
day.
vastly
Right.
in class all the time. But you were able to present this, and I thought you did it in a great way, and I'm so thrilled that you got Humanities Professor of the Year. But in addition to that, you have another duty besides teaching,
Yes.
which is our literary magazine that you brought back from the dead.
Right. Resurrected.
You resurrected it from the dead. It is called?
It's called the Apocalypse Literary Review.
Okay.
And once again, because I always get questions, why such an esoteric, obscure name? Because back in the 70s, it was known as the Apocalypse. And we had an MCC alum who died a few years ago, Brad Watson, who would go on to win literary fame. In fact, he's one of his novels, Heaven of Mercury, I believe either won or was runner-up to National Book Award, which is a fairly significant
yes.
award. But he worked on it back in the 70s, or 80s rather. So I thought just how interesting would it be to bring back
Sure.
that name along with the journal.
And I believe that we're going to have one of the winners, next week will be on the show, possibly reading one of his works.
Yes, and I didn't force him to do this. He is a student of mine, but he's not doing it for extra credit. His name is Jacob Vance. As a high school student last year, he won, I believe, in all three categories: poetry, fiction, and nonfiction.
All right.
And as a freshman, who's also in the honors college now, he won once again all three categories. Very
So you have-
respectful young man, good student.
I can't wait to
Fine
hear.
writer.
To hear, but we've got, okay, so there are three categories typically. You've got poetry, fiction,
and
nonfiction.
nonfiction.
Are they separated, categorized according to age or anything like that?
Yes. Once again, thanks to the foundation, we were able to fund three different divisions. So we have the high school division, and when I say high school, I exclude freshmen.
Okay.
And we have the MCC division, and we have the community division.
Okay. When will people be able to submit for our next literary review, or Apocalypse?
And I'm very glad you asked that, because this past year we did not get many submissions, or as many as I would have liked,
Sure.
because of COVID.
Sure.
And we were limited as to how we could advertise. So please look out for calls for submissions September.
Okay.
I'm hoping by then we can resume passing out material flyers to help spread the word.
Excellent.
But our local public library, I'm hoping the library here on campus and around campus. But
and
yes,
of course our website,
our
will
website,
have that. Okay.
you will be allowed to submit online. So probably more than likely in September.
Well, I want to have you back on the show to talk about this again, and to talk specifically about the awards, and because I believe there's a monetary, there's some money involved here. So I want to get you back to talk about this and a little bit closer to submissions. But I want to thank you for being on the show today, and congratulations again on being Humanities Professor of the Year. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
6 figures.
Six.
Stick figures, really small.
Yeah. With not any decimal places.
Yeah.
But and we're going to have you again. But I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
We are here with the wonderful Miss Kim Rush, who is our Director of Advising and Retention from Meridian Community College. And we were just talking, you have not even been here a year.
I have not. December 1 was my first day, and we have, as they say, hit the ground running.
You have definitely
Yes,
hit the
definitely.
ground running,
Yes.
because we have got so many changes, so many positive changes
Yes.
going on. I've been just thrilled listening to all the great stuff that is happening.
Well, thank you.
And but I wanted you on the show today because we have some things that people can start registering for.
Yes. So registration for our current students began yesterday. Yay!
Yay.
Began
Okay.
yesterday. So students who are currently enrolled at MCC can register for classes. And what we have implemented now is this registration hold under advising, an advising hold. And the reason why is because we definitely want to advise our students who are currently not in a program, primarily those UT transfer students and those students who are waiting to get into a program,
Okay.
just to make sure that they're taking the right classes.
So you've put a hold
Yes.
on their accounts at
Correct.
the moment,
Yes.
but the reason for the hold
Yes.
is to make sure that they talk to an advisor.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. Just to make sure that we're communicating with them on what your program of study is.
Okay.
I'm a university transfer and I'm majoring in education, just to make sure
Okay.
that they're on track.
And
to
it
take the
does
right
not have to be
classes.
just a face-to-face.
Correct. It does not. You know,
Okay.
we're still living in the world of COVID.
We
so
do? Okay.
It could be a phone call. It can be an email. We
Okay.
do Zoom calls. You can stop by in between classes.
Okay.
So anyway, what's best suits the student best. Come on by, call, send us an email.
Okay.
We will definitely make just to make sure that you're enrolled in the right classes and that you know what class that you're need to take to finish your degree.
Okay, and now this is for our current students.
Correct.
Okay, and we also have, I believe, we have a Maymester
Yes.
class beginning.
Yes.
Or classes beginning.
Correct. We have a lot of Maymester classes. We have English, we have math, we have some sciences, a whole slew of classes, electives to
Are
be
these
able to
3
take.
week?
Yes, those classes are 3 weeks long. They're very, very intensive, but a lot of students who are trying to, get classes done, maybe they got behind in the fall or spring, again, we're still living in the world of COVID, maybe got behind and want to be on track for the fall. They can pick up a class, in Maymester or pick up a class in June or July and to
Okay.
be on track for the fall.
Oh my goodness, we've got so many things available.
Yes.
Now, these Maymester classes, because we typically have a holiday course. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
We have a holiday course, and so it's basically the same thing, but it's during May.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how do you sign up for these?
So if you don't know how to register yourself, through your EagleNet account, definitely get in contact with your advisor. If you don't know who your advisor is, one, shame on you. But number two, you can always email advising@meridiancc.edu.
Okay.
Advising@meridiancc.edu.
Okay, now we've been talking about current students. What if you are a new one?
That registration begins April 19th.
Okay.
So new students, the same process happens. They have to talk to an advisor, meet with their advisor, discussing class what their program of study is. If they're trying to get into surgical tech, their university transfer, they need to meet with an advisor as well. And we still do that in person, over the phone, via email.
Okay.
And then we'll release that whole and make sure they know how to register the class for their classes.
Okay, so then they could still, if they wanted to take Maymester.
Yes, oh,
They
definitely.
want to take summer.
Definitely.
They could do that.
Definitely. As long as they've been admitted to MCC, they can take classes.
Okay.
And we
Now-
are doing a conditional admit right now.
Which
for,
means?
For students who are in their last semester, of course, of high school, but they don't have their final high school transcript, because odds are when Maymester begins, they'll be ending up their classes in high school. So they are able to be conditionally admitted, and once we get their final transcript, but that will not prevent them from getting into classes for Maymester, summer, or fall.
Are you responsible for all these changes?
Some of them. It is definitely
so
a
sorry.
team effort. We're definitely working with the admissions department and just trying to figure out, what's the best for our students and how to get them best served.
Oh my goodness. I'm so thrilled over this because before we had orientations and we would have them in June, every Friday in June, and then I think we had one in July. And everyone would come and they'd be thrown huge amounts of information in McCain Theater.
Yes.
And then we'd let them tour, and then and only then could you register. And we would register in some of the big labs that we would have. And it was confusing sometimes, and there's a huge amount of information that nobody's going to remember.
Information overload is what it is.
And then we'd send them off, and they'd be at home for 2 months before coming back. Not remember a thing.
Correct.
So we're doing it differently.
Yes. And so we definitely want to make that personal connection. Because a lot of times when you're in, the large crowds, you kind of get lost in the sauce. You don't know
Sure.
who's who, who's what. Who do I see? Who do I not see? And so by having that one-on-one connection, even if it's over the phone through Zoom, coming up, in the summer, and meeting with your advisor, saying, hey, my major is biomedical engineering. I want to transfer Mississippi State. So we can meet with you. Okay, I hope you like math. Okay, I hope you like science. And then laying out the class that you'll have to take at MCC before you transfer to a four-year university. And making that personal touch. Okay, I am your person at MCC. So if you have any hiccups, if you need tutoring, if you need to rethink your major, okay, you're undecided, we have tools in place to help students to be successful at MCC.
I love this whole idea of having one person to stick with you through the whole time period.
And that's the goal, because a lot of times if you're giving so much information, or you're go here, go here, go here, you definitely get confused and get lost. And so the goal is for your advisor to be your person and say, okay, if I'm having a problem with whatever, I can talk to my advisor, and then after I talk to my advisor, she'll point me in the right direction.
I remember when I first came here a million years ago, but I know they say there's no stupid question. There is no stupid question. But sometimes I didn't know enough to even ask a stupid question.
Correct.
So I like the whole notion of getting a personal touch here, getting to know someone, getting to know when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and being able to, to call and say, look, why, you haven't been in class lately.
Correct.
Or you're not turning in your homework like you should be. Where we're much more proactive about it, because I always say constantly, I would much prefer preventing fires rather than putting out fires.
Oh, definitely so.
And we want to make the experience as good as we possibly can for them. And I love these changes that y'all have implemented.
And it's definitely, the goal is to tackle these things on the front end
oh my gosh,
rather than the back end. Because
Yes.
usually by the time the back end happens, you're too far gone.
Yeah,
I
I told a student recently, they came in and this was their third or fourth paper that they had failed.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we'd seen them in the Success Center. And I told them, I said, there's really, at this point, mathematics is against you.
Yes, definitely.
There's not really a lot that we can do.
Yes.
I'd rather us do it this way, early on.
Correct.
I want to have you back on to talk about this again.
Sounds good.
But so they can start registering. Current students can register April 7th.
Correct.
New students April 19th.
Correct.
I want to get you back on and talking about maybe summer and fall again.
Sounds good. And I have something, hopefully we're in the works that we could talk about soon as well.
Is it top secret?
Yes,
I
it's
can't
top
wait.
secret.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These Eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
On behalf of our executive producer, Matt Milner, our media consultant, Joshua Taylor, and our student producer, Jalen Vance, thank you for watching. We hope you learned a little bit. We'll see you next time.